So here's a question. How did Sensei Wu get to the underworld anyway? In part 2 of the pilot episode, King of Shadows, Kai is tricked by Garmadon into going to the fire temple and grabbing the Sword of Fire by himself in order to save his sister. Kai has obviously never played Ocarina of Time, so Wu is forced to relive painful memories of the water temple in order to save him with his MLG skills. However, instead of waking up the rest of the ninja like any good mentor would do, Wu left his students sleeping alone unguarded in the middle of the creepy woods at night, allowing the Skullkin to steal the remaining golden weapons from them. In order to keep Garmadon from uniting the 4 golden weapons, Wu takes a Sword of Fire to the underworld to face Garmadon himself. How does he do this? By throwing himself down a deadly lava fall, of course. I mean, everyone knows that's how you get to the underworld, right? If that wasn't questionable enough, he seems to just ignore the fact he left Kai and Nia there to face a freaking dragon by themselves with no way to defend themselves. But I digress. Wu's lack of judgment is a topic for another time. I've seen a variety of different explanations to exactly how Wu gets to the underworld, and the main theories I've been hearing are the speed of the fall transports him to the underworld, a portal exists to the underworld that only Wu knows about, and yeah, this is an actual theory I've heard. Wu kills himself to get to the underworld. Yep, that's a thing. So let's start and look at the facts we have. We know from Season 5 that the underworld is one of the 16 realms parallel to Ninjago. So how does one travel between realms? Well, we're given a variety of ways throughout the show. The Realm Crystal is the most obvious of these methods, having the ability to transport someone to any of the 17 realms. As we see later in the pilot, the dragons have the ability to travel between worlds, which could possibly mean they can travel to any realm, but this is never picked up on again, so it could also just mean they can travel between Ninjago and the underworld. In the pilot as well, we see the Skullkin reach the underworld by achieving a certain speed on their vehicles. There also seems to be certain special items throughout Ninjago that have powers to transport people to other realms, such as the armor from Possession that could summon people from the Cursed Realm, or Traveler's Tea, which transported Wu to the Realm of Madness. Also in Season 5, we see there are portals that exist to other realms in various areas, such as the Blind Man's Eye, which is the portal to Cloud Kingdom. And finally, some realms are indeed accessed by death. We see this in both the Cursed Realm and in the Departed Realm. In Season 5, it's referenced that Moro went to the Cursed Realm after he died, as we see his remains in the Caverns of Despair. And in Day of the Departed, it is referenced that anyone else who dies goes to the Departed Realm. So now let's look at each of these options and try and figure out which one Wu used. Immediately we can cross out the Realm Crystals, Dragons, and Magical Inner Realm items, as Wu didn't have any of these with him, unless we assume Wu's teapot can... Okay, so maybe that's possible, but when we see Wu use Traveler's Tea to go to the Chaos Realm, he doesn't drink it, so it's most likely not what he used here. So what about speed then? Some have theorized the speed from falling is what transported Wu to the underworld, and to that I say, then why hasn't anyone else gotten to the underworld by falling? There is plenty of falling in Ninjago, but never has anyone went to the underworld because of that. Obviously, the speed the Skullkin need to get to the underworld is greater than that of gravity. Their vehicles may also have something to do with how they're teleported to the underworld, such as how the DeLorean needs to reach 88 miles per hour in order to travel through time. Wow, that's 2 Back to the Future references 2 episodes in a row. So if it's not speed then, let's cover the clickbait of this episode title. Did Wu put himself in a situation that he would die in order to go to the underworld? Well, there is an issue with that. We have no definitive examples of someone going to the underworld when they die. The Skullkin don't seem to be actual dead people. As far as we can tell, they're something of their own species. When someone dies in Ninjago, they appear to go to one of 2 places from what I've seen. When Moro dies, he goes to the Cursed Realm. Other characters that have passed away are said to have gone to the Departed Realm. These 2 realms seem to basically be the heaven and hell of Ninjago. Of course, the villains come out of the Departed Realm in Day of the Departed, meaning that the good and bad people end up in the same place when they die, and wow, Ninjago's theology is really screwed up. The point is, however, the underworld does not appear to take the place of a literal hell in Ninjago. The Cursed Realm does. When Garmadon is banished there, it isn't because he dies. We see in the Ninjago mini-movie number 6, Battle Between Brothers, that some combination of the golden weapons and a protection spell on Wu's kimono caused Garmadon to end up there. It would also explain why he can't leave and the Skullkin can. It's not that he died that sent him there, rather it seems to be some sort of curse holding him there. That leaves one working hypothesis left, that there is some portal to the underworld that only Wu knew about, and it existed on the other side of the falls. Do I have proof of this? Well, actually I have pretty solid proof. Let's take a look at Ninjago mini-movie number 5, Return to the Fire Temple.
So that's what you wanted to show us. A secret entrance to the underworld, huh?
Honestly, I don't think you can get much clearer proof than that. From what I can tell, the lava placement is different, but the ledge is the exact same one that Wu went down in the episode, and it just so happens that there's a portal on the other side of it. That can't really be a coincidence in this case. Why didn't I just lead with that proof then? Well, then we wouldn't have gotten the chance to have the fun of exploring inter-realm travel now, would we? This of course brings up another question. Why didn't Kai just follow Wu down the falls to get to the underworld? Well, he didn't exactly know about the portal, and keep in mind this was the guy who was teaching him to begin with. Yeah. That's gonna about wrap it up for this explanation. Obviously this is a lot shorter than last time. I kind of opened with one of the most ambitious explanations in Ninjago with this series. All of them are probably going to be a bit shorter from now on. But with the Ninjago movie just over the horizon now, and Ninjago Season 8 coming out next year, there's plenty of Ninjago to talk about. So please leave a comment and a like if you'd like to see this series continue in the future. Thanks again for watching, and be sure to join me on the next episode for more Ninjago Explained.